Welcome to the Hub Podcast. I'm your host, Cheney Passer. With me is... Are you freezing?
I was going to say, you have to do them apparently.
Huh?
You have to do the nicknames.
You can do it.
Cold Courtney.
I'll tell you what, it never gets old. I just love hearing about it all day long.
I've been to 2 cold cities in the past weekends. I was in Michigan and then I was just in Chicago, and then I come back and you say like it's been 75, and then I come back and it's freezing again. So I don't know what the lesson is.
It's your part.
But
It's your
I
fault.
don't want to learn it.
It's your fault. You just bring your dark, cold attitude everywhere. Ugh.
Fine.
No, you don't have a dark, cold attitude. We went and saw a movie today.
It was so good.
Did you like it?
It was so good. It was one of those movies which this happens actually to me a lot. It's the movie theater thing. I love going to the movie theater. Anybody that doesn't love going to the movie theater, I don't understand you as a person.
Yeah.
Like, if you just, I don't know. I mean, I love it. It just is a different, to me, you must have a lot of bad experiences going, because I think this is the narrative now. Like, a lot of people don't like going to the movie theaters. I do understand that it is, like, people don't like spending the money.
Yeah.
To where, like, we go on Tuesdays, so it's cheaper. We don't really get popcorn or any of that kind of stuff. So I guess if you're going to go on, like, a Friday night and you get popcorn and drinks and candy and you're spending $100, you could, you know, just rent it at home, I suppose. Yeah. But it's the whole experience that you're missing out on. Yeah. So you must have bad experiences at the movies.
Yeah.
Because, like, the sound, the feeling of, like, the whole, I don't know. It's like, it does. Like, it just brings it's like the Nicole Kidman promo at the beginning. She's like, it just makes you feel the movie differently. And it totally does.
Yeah, I think so.
To where, like, every time I walk out of a movie like that, I'm just like, I need to change my life. Or, like, my life can be this magical.
Oh, your life is a movie.
Yeah, you can make it that. But yeah, it was one of those movies that I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be over.
Yeah.
Like, every moment I was like, oh, I hope it's longer. Oh, I hope it's more.
We went and saw Uncharted, the new Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg movie. It was fun. It was cool. We like those movies though, like the National Treasure movies, like the adventure ones and the, looking for gold or whatever it is, just the treasure hunt type of thing and the action that comes with it and whatnot. And
it was a cool. Different vibe, I feel like, for what's his name?
Tom Holland?
No.
Or Mark Wahlberg?
Why can I not think of Mark Wahlberg's
What's
name?
his name?
He's
not in much.
I could only think of Marky Mark.
Marky Mark?
I'm like, oh, that's kind of a name, but what's like?
Yeah.
For him, I thought
you're so dance. It's unbelievable.
I thought it was a little bit, maybe just from the movies that I've seen him in lately, it seemed different for him.
See, I don't know. Like, he's
typically not like the bad guy.
Yeah, which even that, he wasn't really the bad guy. I mean,
he was a slimy guy.
This is so stupid that I'm going to say this, but I think I have a point to it. He's kind of underrated. Like,
100%.
He can do so many different roles that, like, he's been in so many movies, so many different people in those movies. Like, he's kind of underrated in that aspect of, like, how diverse his roles are.
Yeah, I don't think he's underrated as a celebrity or as an actor, but I think for that specific reason of, like, all the elements that he can bring out, and he's still, like, him in all of them. Yeah. Like, he still brings his own element in all of them, but it is, like...
Well, and there's a trailer of him in a new movie coming out, too, where he's, like... I don't know, he's like a born-again Christian type of thing.
Oh,
and
exactly.
it's like, that's going to be interesting to see, too, of just, like, there he is in another different role.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Tom Holland do something a little bit different, because he kind of is having the same attitude.
Yes.
He's kind of the same person in the movies that he's in.
It seems like it was Spider-Man in a different movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's awesome. It's hilarious.
Yes.
He's super funny. He's amazing at that character.
It's
but it'd be
like
kind of cool to see him do something like maybe super serious or
That would be really cool, actually.
You know, like a drama or something.
But yeah, I do like his character. It's kind of like, anybody that's like a comedic actor, like Will Ferrell. It's like, I don't want him. I want him to be Will Ferrell in everything he does. Yeah. It's the same thing. Like, I love the, like, he's trying to be funny, but it's also kind of subtle, and it's kind of like a young boy humor too. Like, I think that is a cool character that, especially in the Marvel ones, like, they don't have that. So like the kid element really comes into play with it, and I like it. But yeah, that would be cool for him to do a more serious one. But he's one of those people that I will watch anything he does.
Yep,
no me matter too. How stupid the movie looks, I probably would always watch it because it's him.
Yep. Same with Mark Wahlberg. Like, I don't have a ton of interest in the born again Christian movie, but because it's him,
right?
I'm like, oh, this could be interesting. And Mel Gibson's in it too, so it's just like, There's just certain people.
Attractive old man.
Mel Gibson?
Does he ever look bad?
No.
I feel like for our whole life, he's looked the same age.
Yeah,
he looked old then. He looks old now. It's the same amount of gray hair, but he does not look any different.
The voice too.
Yeah.
The voice.
But speaking of fitness, Tom Holland.
Oh, he's always in shape.
What the heck? I don't think I've ever. Maybe it's just because he's getting older. His body looked so mature. I think his face looked so young that you wouldn't think like, oh, that's what your body looks like.
See, I thought Mark Wahlberg was more impressive than Tom Holland. Like in that trailer where he's like a boxer in the beginning.
Oh, sure.
And they show him kind of like getting baptized, and he's just huge.
Sure.
I think Tom Holland's body still kind of looks younger.
Oh, really?
Younger person's body, yeah. But you got to think too, like he's Spider-Man, so he's always in shape.
Oh yeah. He just looked more like a manly built, and like he had like a little bit of hair and whatever. I was like, wait, aren't you like 12 years old? I expect it to be like scrawny little kid body.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why when I was surprised, I was like, oh. That's why when I asked you, I was like, I wonder how old he is.
Yeah. I
didn't expect it to be like.
That's weird. You thought he'd be like a smaller build or whatever. Yeah. Which, I mean, who knows? Maybe he definitely didn't look that way.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, maybe put on a little bit extra weight or something. But I thought what was cool about the movie is like it's it's based off the game type of thing, and just
Wait, what?
Like that's a game. That's a video game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I told you this.
Maybe.
I told you just when we saw the trailer a while ago.
Okay.
But it's
today. I didn't even remember that I watched the trailer. Yeah. I walked into it and I was like, I don't know anything about this movie. Like I've never seen a trailer. Yeah. I just saw him post on Instagram.
We literally saw a trailer for this. But yeah, it's based off of a video game, and maybe the video game is based off of something else. I don't know. But some of the shots that they used are like kind of some of the same shots that they use in the video game, like as a kind of build into the game or whatever. Like when he's falling off the luggage or whatever and into the like that's part of I remember seeing that in part of the video game of like that's happening or whatever, and you have to like gain control and whatever. So they used some of that in there that was kind of cool of like the filmography of it. Like they used the same as the video game. I don't know like character wise how close everybody is, or like storyline wise how close any of it is to the game. But they've been doing that more frequently recently of like making movies off of these video games that come out. And like I said, it may be like it was a book and then they made a video game and now it's a movie or whatever, but they've been doing that recently, and I think all of them have done pretty well.
And the setup, like there's definitely going to be another one.
Yeah. Which there totally should be. Yeah. They totally should be. I don't think there's enough movies like that. Like no. I get there's Indiana Jones, but that's not. That's almost
older.
It's almost too old at this point.
And even that was that like based off of treasure, like pirate treasure.
I don't know the specific kind, but like they even mentioned it in the movie. Like, so when did you want to be Indiana Jones type of thing? Like it was kind of that adventure, looking for treasure type of thing, or looking for lost treasure.
I could do without that girl second movie. I don't
really?
feel like her character added that much either way. Like, it wasn't like, oh, she's a good supporting role and she wasn't, like, taking away from the story. But I don't know. Like, I felt like there could have been more moments with him and Mark instead. Like, the ones with her, and I'm just like,
well, that's what I wonder
really
is, like,
going on there.
how is the video game? You know, is she more prevalent in the video game? I don't know. The way they set up the second one, she's not a part of the tiny little 2-minute clip they put at the end of it. But
sure.
No, I don't know. I thought it was fun. I like those movies. I wish they would do more of them. You know, the National Treasure type movies, or you know, these ones. So I hope they do. I think National Treasure, there was 3 of them. I hope they do at least 3 of these because they're fun and the people are cool.
Tom Holland was in more movies.
Yeah, he's
really not in much besides Spider-Man.
I feel like he was in something else just recently too. I don't know. I think he's been in a few things actually.
He'd be good in like some like high school movie.
Yeah, I don't need to see him in a high school movie.
You know what movie they should redo and have him do his accent?
Don't say High School Musical.
No. The like a Kingsman kind of movie.
There is another one.
And he's in it?
No, he's not in it. But there's like they came out with the prequel.
No, I know. I'm saying they should do another one, but like, because then he can do his regular voice.
Why wouldn't Taron Egerton do it? Are you just saying have Tom Holland as like a secondary character, or be the main person?
Do a new story? Because didn't how they kind of ended it last time? Like he was grown out of it.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I feel like he retired from it or something. Like he had moved out of the. Maybe I'm thinking of another movie.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think so. I think they're on their 3rd one, but what they did is they made one and then they made a second one that kind of followed the story, continued the story. And then now they've made a 3rd one, but it's like the beginning of like how the Kingsmen came about.
Gotcha.
So they kind of went like backwards.
Gotcha. I think okay, then maybe having him in it, because I think he could be a fun supporting role too.
He's lead man.
What's his face? No, I know. Like
he's not going to be not.
But kind of like this, kind of like with Mark, like having it be like maybe he's the youngin in the whatever they call it, like their training program or their school, and then he becomes like his little partner. I don't know. I just want him in more things.
I don't think you're a very good film like creator.
I mean, I would watch anything with him in it, so it's kind of just like, what other movies do I like? Oh, I like that one. He should be in that.
Yeah, you're like, you should do a Air Bud movie where he's the main guy.
Movie about spies? Sure, he should do that too.
Yeah.
Like any kind of movie I like.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you should do that.
You're
Why?
like, you know,
because I like him.
He should play Batman.
Oh my gosh, we didn't really kind of touch on it after the preview. That one with what's his face looks really good. The preview with Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, the Marvel movie.
That one looks good.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I was it Morbius?
Yeah.
Dr. Morbius? I don't know. I'm not into like which is weird because I want to see the new Batman movie, but I'm not usually into like the whole, I don't know, dark.
Like the villain aspect of?
Vampire, you know.
Yeah.
Weird creature stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not really into creature stuff.
Maybe it's just because it was like a Jared Leto movie, so I was like, oh, I could watch that.
Yeah, you know, I don't think I've seen him in enough to maybe appreciate, but I've never really been that impressed with him as an actor.
Oh, really?
No.
He just has a fun look.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. Who cares?
Because it's cool to look at. I don't know. It's like having someone that like looks unique. I think sometimes it's like fun to watch them do things. That sounds so stupid, but like, I don't know. Like you just, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
No, you can.
Like
you can. Now. Whatever your point is. I don't know. I don't find him that. It's just like any weird reason why you're attracted to somebody or you want to see them in the movies all the time.
Yeah.
It's like I don't have that with him. Like I could care less. I could never see one of his movies and I don't really care. Yeah, it's just your preference of people, I guess. You know, some people, they see that he's got a movie out and they're pumped and they want to go see it because he's really unique in a lot of his characters, it seems like, to where it's like, oh my God, what kind of thing is he doing now? And like, that's why I said in the beginning, it's like, maybe I just haven't seen him in enough things to appreciate, like,
he does always kind of do like the creepy characters.
Yeah, because he did the Joker one. Well, he did Suicide Squad and he was barely in it, which people don't really enjoy or they wish he was in it more. And then he's in this one now where he's a little bit different of a...
He did that one character where he was in one other movie that we watched where he was like the serial killer.
Yeah. That actually, I forgot about that movie. Wasn't that with, was that Zodiac? He was the Zodiac killer?
Potentially, yeah.
With Mark Ruffalo and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
He was good in that.
Yes.
Very good in that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like the long hair and just like he does have like a unique, like pretty face. Like it's not a masculine look, but it's like feminine almost.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, like the look fits the creepy.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like maybe just like it keeps it in character and I like that more or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
The look, I just like the look.
You know what does sound cool, or that like I think would be cool to recommend for people to watch if they haven't, the Zac Efron, what is it, docu-series or whatever that he does with
because that's coming
Darren.
out the season 2, so I definitely watch season 1 first.
Yep.
Darren Orlean.
They're gonna come out with a second season of it, so I would go watch that. What was it called? Do you remember?
It's on Netflix. You search Zac Efron on Netflix, is gonna show up. Down to Earth. Down to Earth,
yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's really cool. They just it's just a however many episodes, 6 or 8 or something, and they just kind of go and explore different parts of the world and what makes like the way they use energy unique or produce energy unique, and different like ways of farming. It's all kind of like eco-friendly and trying to figure out better sustainable ways for the planet. And they hit on a lot of different topics, and one of them being water, you know.
But I love the series because it's Zac Efron, so obviously everyone's gonna love it. But Zac Efron is just a fan favorite. If you don't love Zac Efron, you know?
I think there's a lot of reasons not to like him.
What?
Yeah, because he's prettier than everybody else.
Exactly.
So that makes everybody angry.
He's beautiful to look at. And especially, like, he's like a man in this one. Like, he has, like, chest hair and he's jacked.
See, you keep throwing out this, like, these people are men, and it's like you're naming Tom Holland and Zac Efron. You got a really weird perception of what a man is.
Who was the first guy?
Tom Holland? Well, Mel Gibson,
I was like, they're all the same.
Yeah. You're like, these are all men. And there's Mel Gibson, Tom Holland.
I think the Tom Holland thing is like, I was just so shocked. And like,
he literally looked the same.
The same thing with Zac Efron though. It's like the broader features. It just seems more like dense and tough. I don't know, whatever. But
yeah, you get a weird, yeah.
But I liked it because it was not doom and gloom. Like, we're ruining the planet. Like it was we're ruining the planet, but it was like, here are solutions. Here are different cool things that other countries are doing. It honestly opened my eyes to more of like, oh, the U.S. maybe is lacking in certain ways. We're definitely thriving in a lot of others, but here's maybe where we're lacking or what we could do better with that other countries are kind of figuring it out.
Yep.
But it was like every episode was this cool thing someone was doing to preserve, not every episode, here's how we're damaging it.
Right. It was, like you said, it wasn't the doom and gloom. It was actually more uplifting and more positive.
Yeah.
And it was cool to watch, cool to see, especially with him. Just like, I don't know, people I think tend to think of him as the High School Musical guy, where it's like, this seems to be more what he's interested in. And I don't know, you see him as more of a serious person. Yeah. And as an adult rather than the other. And you kind of learn like he didn't even want to be an actor, which is kind of funny.
Right.
Like it wasn't even, he just thought it was going to pay for college. And then it ends up he is this superstar.
Isn't that so crazy? Him and Matthew McConaughey, that's their story. They were just trying to pay for like Matthew McConaughey was like, I just wanted money for summer.
Yep.
I guess that was like my summer job was Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
And then it's like everyone like made a whole career and was just like, oh, I guess I'll just stick with this.
Yeah. But it's good.
It's so good. What's your favorite episode of it? And then guess mine.
Honestly, I don't. They all kind of blend together a little bit, but to
Maybe
me,
a favorite story, like a favorite thing that they did, or
to me, I think the water one is probably my favorite, just because I think that's like that seems the kind of the easiest to not only help yourself right away of like which water you should be getting or purchasing, but also for like everybody across the globe of like how can we just get water to be more in the world, and like it should be free, or not using plastic bottles. Like they kind of touch on a lot of different things. I like that one because it seemed like it could be applied more and quicker.
Sure. Yeah.
What one was yours? I don't know. The only ones I could think of is like the waterfall one where they're using that. See, I'm horrible at even remembering.
My favorite was the
Potato one.
No, the Centennials one.
Oh yeah. That one is cool.
That one like really that like what is kind of like pushed me more in the direction of like focusing on fun, focusing on balance in my life, because you see these people that they're just enjoying their day to day and enjoying cooking with their family and their community and gardening and doing simple things. Like none of them are trying to live this super fast paced career breaking life.
Yeah.
And they're living forever and ever.
Yeah.
And there's so much more study coming out about that of like, I don't know, like happiness is kind of what keeps you alive, and purpose keeps you alive, not like money can't keep you alive.
No. So
it's like prioritizing that and kind of changing my outlook on life. I think that really, really adjusted it. Weirdly enough, just from a show, but yeah, it's just like seeing that. It's like, oh yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, well, and they've kind of do a little segment with this guy who's, what is he? He's 100.
Yeah, he was over 100.
Over 100, and
because he was one of the Centennials or whatever.
Yeah, and they kind of followed him, and they went down to like a bar, and he got a little glass of wine, and he's like, I do this every day. Well, I go down and get a glass of wine at noon.
Yeah, and like he was walking downstairs, not a cane, nothing.
Yeah.
All by himself.
Yep.
And yeah, and it would even just that, like what he was wearing, like put pride in getting dressed up to walk outside and he walked around a neighborhood every single day, and like talked with people from his community, and like that, like goes apart. Something that we deem as like, alcohol, like, oh, it's so bad. It's like, well, he's drinking it with a smile on his face, something that a lot of us in the States, for some reason, like, we're just not happy.
Yeah.
Yet this guy has simple.
Yep.
And I think he kind of said that, like, in the show. He's like, well, what would there be anything, like, what would I be upset about?
Yeah.
He's like, this is, what more do you need?
Yeah. He's got his health. He's got, people around, and he's got liquor.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need much more.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's a cool show. Definitely recommend.
I cannot wait for season 2.
Yeah, it'll be cool to see like what other ththings they kind of go out and find, or just more information about it and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was really it was produced really well, and I feel like the overall, like, the topics they were touching on were different from each other. It wasn't just like, I don't know, I think sometimes the documentaries, like, they just focus on like the ocean, or they just focus on climate change, or they just focus, like, they touched on a lot of different stuff, which was cool.
Yeah, and some of them have agendas, which are not.
Oh, for sure.
I don't really enjoy, and this one doesn't seem like it has an agenda other than, just let's put out the information, and maybe let's try to pursue and follow some of these things. Why does this pocket live till 100? More people from this pocket or this area lives to 100 more than everybody else. Let's go look at that and see what they do and figure it out. And it's like, what they found out was these people eat, a pasta frequently and bread, and it's pretty low protein in that area. Like, it's all handmade pasta and handmade
vegetables
bread.
from their garden
Vegetables
and
from the
grains
garden.
that they're retrieving.
Yeah. It's all like whole grain, whole natural foods, like we always talk about. But it's it's low protein, and that's something that we freak out about here in the U.S. It seems like it's like everything's got to be high protein, high protein. Like I even saw the peanut butter. It says like 11 grams of protein on the peanut butter. It's like, who gives?
Right.
Like, who cares?
Especially for something like that, where it's like, no, the focus should be the fat consumption that you're able to get from this.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah. And then you have, the water one, and, kind of talking about the benefits of water and trying to get it to be clean water throughout the globe, and just different ways of trying to find sustainability. And that seems to be like its only agenda. It's not like trying to go, hey, eat this certain way because we have an agenda, or just some of the documentaries or stuff does weird things that I don't really appreciate.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah. That's one thing I was going to say. That's one thing, like, noticing lately, or just like every time I go to the movies, it's like, God, I love that stuff. Like, I love movies and music and TV. Like, I feel like we undervalue them as like art forms. I think music we do most of the time, but like the people that curate movies and the amount of time and effort that go into making this 2-hour thing. Yeah. It's like it is when a movie or something like that can inspire you or move you or make me feel like I can do something different with my life after watching a freaking Tom Holland pirate movie. Yeah. It's like, yeah, a person made that.
You're like, I'm going to go look for treasure. I got to find some of this treasure.
I got to find the gold in my life.
There's got to be a pirate shit somewhere.
But it's like, it's so cool to me that someone created that. Or a team of creative people made something with their creative minds that moved me, and created a song, and people worked together on a song and made that. I listen to it and it affects my mood. That is so freaking cool to me. That like it, like art, or I guess anything, sports, whatever, all of the things have effects on people. Yeah. And not that you need to do it in that way, but I feel like that is, I guess, a bigger reason to maybe why I liked dancing, or I like doing those kinds of things. Or it's like, I don't know, recognizing the power that you could have with your words, with the choices that you make, with the interactions that you have with people, with the things that you create and make in your life. That, I don't know, like, it can be for really good things. And I feel like most of the time we just see it as like, well, this is the thing I do to make money, or this is the thing I do because I have to, or whatever. Yeah.
Well, I think a really easy way too is like just try to put yourself in those situations, or surround yourself with that more than too. Yeah. Like if it gives you that kind of feeling, like that's kind of your sign of like, this is what moves you. There's so many people that are like, they're trying to find their passion and trying to find their purpose and stuff. It's like, you maybe go to a movie and you see something, or something plays out in a certain way and it really affects you and it moves you or whatever. It's like, well, maybe look into that more and see what about this is doing that, because maybe I can try to create a life with this, whether it's a job or a career, or it's just somebody says a certain quote or something and you're like, I want to look into that.
Something simple like, I just need to go to the movies more.
Yeah.
That's my fun. That's something I love to do. Yeah. That most people are like, oh, don't you want to like go out or go outside or whatever? It's like, no, I like going to the movies. Yep. Or listen to every music. Time, like every week, that'll be my hobby. Yeah. Yeah, or listen to music or whatever. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'll sit on a plane ride for 3 hours and just listen to music.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could not do that. Music just does not interest me like that. Yeah. That's something that totally does not move me. Sure. Music just really doesn't do much for me at all.
But I do. I like reminds me of, things like this, like the podcast, and even something as a little bit like more broad in general, but like having a YouTube channel. It's like the base of it is to connect with people. The base of it is to give our insight on things. And I think remembering that with when we speak and when we, I don't know, talk to people about it or whatever, that like, you don't have to be a big person to have an impact on somebody or how they feel in that moment or change their perception on something. I feel like if people maybe thought of the power that they had with that, maybe they would choose to be kinder or something.
Yeah.
They just have more intention with their actions and their words.
What do you... Can you explain that more? Because, like, what are you trying to say?
I think I'm using this because it's a verbal thing, verbal platform of we're talking, and that's where our, you know, like we're not doing a movie, we're not writing a song, we're not doing that, but in our own way, this is our version of that. Just like someone making a movie, someone producing a song, someone blah blah blah, painting.
Sure.
That it all, maybe the goal of all of it is to put something out there, put something out to people, that having integrity and an intention of what you're putting out there, rather than just like, oh, my words don't mean anything. No one's listening. No one cares. No one is going to, you know, notice how I act or what I say.
Yeah.
That, like, there's some, you know, people that made the movie that we saw today, and it made me feel that way.
Yeah.
To where if you don't care, maybe that movie doesn't get made. If you don't have that mindset of the song could be, you know, whatever, someone's favorite song that always puts them in a good mood, those songs wouldn't get made. Things like podcasts of, I care a lot about this topic and helping people and giving information about something that I'm really passionate about, and just putting an effort and intention to how you are doing that, because that could then be the result.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not going anywhere with it. Maybe it doesn't make any sense.
No, I think you are.
I think a lot of people just don't think that matters as much as I think it does, maybe.
Sure, yeah.
Or that they don't have that much of an impact.
Yeah, well, I think you got to have your intentions aligned, like, really well. Because I think that's why I asked if you could explain it more, because I have a opinion, I guess, of like, there's a lot of people saying stuff and it's not that great. Like, and I think it's maybe because their intentions are not good.
Yes.
You know, that like people are just kind of, and I say this, you know, there's irony in it of like, we're doing a podcast and saying what we think, and I'm sitting here judging that other people do that. But sometimes I feel like it's just not coming from a good place. And it's kind of like what you said, like the people are, you know, if they're not putting, you know, their effort or their a good intention into it, or like they're really trying and they're putting their heart into it, the movie doesn't get made the way it was, or music isn't made the way it was. I think there's just a lot of people that put stuff out there that, in a sense, like it has no meaning. It's just them kind of blabbing their mouth, and it's kind of you can feel the ickiness from it. You can feel the purity from it, and
I think that's where it comes to the intention, like you said. Like, my intention with this, with teaching, with anytime I create something in dance or whatever, it's like the intention is not for selfish reasons. The intention is not to, like, you know, you see all the people like just talking on social media. Their intention is probably not to help people. Their intention is to hurt someone, and that's what's coming through. Even though it may be, or, you know, confused as, oh, well, they're sticking up for somebody or something, or that looks like they're trying to help. It's like they're doing it for selfish reasons, and you can feel that because it feels gross.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you have the power to do good with your voice and with what you can create, think about what you're choosing.
Yeah, and I think there's this weird I think it's weird when people think that they're that person. And that's where I maybe am disagreeing with you a little bit on it,
Sure.
or we're just not.
I'm probably not explaining it very well.
We're not like kind of on the same page with it, or I don't know, but I think there's a lot of people that think what they're saying is important, and it's just not. A lot of people think that they have, the answer, and they're out there saying it and whatever, and it's just, you're just another human. There's 7, almost 8 billion of us. You're just one of those. So to think that you have all this power over everybody else because you think you had a good idea.
Right.
Right. And I say that again with a ton of like, I don't know, hesitation, I guess, because like at least one of the reasons that I wanted to do this podcast was like, I think we have good stuff to say. I think we have some good, helpful things to say sometimes, but it always comes with that hesitation of like, but I also don't know anything.
Right.
I am living this trial and error and trying to go through this life, and I'm like coming through obstacles and hiccups just like everybody else and trying to think my way and work my way through them. I'm not coming from a place of like, I know.
No.
And I think that's where like those people just feel gross to me, is it's like, you're acting like you know how this whole thing works and you don't.
Right.
And that just kind of, that persona or that like face, that people put on, it just kind of, it's this like idea that they have this like this position in the world or this power in the world that they don't have. And it feels weird. It just is like, what are you talking about? Or what are you doing?
I don't think I'm able to express the feeling that it feels to me. So yeah, because like I don't want it to come off like that. I don't want it to, I am not saying everybody has a voice. I don't think you should.
Well, that's that's what I was just gonna bring up is somebody that we both have listened to or watched or whatever before, Chris DiStefano. That's what his dad said that one time of like, we're in this era where everybody thinks they have a voice and
they have something to say.
Everybody thinks they have something to say, and like a lot of people don't have shit to say, and they shouldn't. Like we're in this era where everybody's got a phone and social media and a Twitter, and they're able to say whatever they want to say. And not everybody should be saying, like most people should be keeping quiet and not saying anything.
Right.
But we all have this attitude like, I've got something to say and I need to say it. It's like, no, you need to sit down and shut up. Like 90% of us should, because we don't know anything about what's going on.
Right. So maybe let me reframe how I am wording that, because I do more agree with that of like, no, half the people should not be on a platform.
Yeah, right.
To talk. No one, like a lot of people should not be posting half of the shit that they do on social media, because you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why we don't post anything of a political nature or anything like that, because A, who cares? Who needs to know? And it's like, I don't know shit. So why am I going to promote like I do, but in ways that I feel like, I don't know, like through my work or through my relationships or through like my interactions or whatever, like that's where I feel like I can show who I really am and where the positive can come out. Not me posting something on Instagram because it's what's like trending right now to talk about.
Yeah.
That, I guess where I was coming from with like the music and the movies and like art and stuff is like those people really honed in where their outlet is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they don't maybe like, granted, I'm sure like those are also some of the people that are doing this crap on social media, but it's like those people don't need to just use their voice for a YouTube channel, or they don't need to use their voice on Twitter. They don't need to use their voice on Instagram and post something and it to be super, moving. But they know I can write a song and I'm going to still change people. I'm going to influence. Yeah. I'm going to affect for good through a song.
Yeah.
They figured out their outlet of doing that in a positive way.
Yeah.
That I think we all think are positive ways, like on Instagram.
Yeah, and that it's just like our mouth. Like our
Yeah.
mouth is gonna do it. And it's like that old adage of actions speak louder than words.
Right.
You know, it's like there's very few people in this world or history that can move people by just talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody like Martin Luther King Jr. It's like
Yes.
that he could move people by talking. And then you have all these other people on Instagram thinking that they can do the same thing or are doing the same thing. And it's like you're not.
Right.
You're not. You're just a mouth that has an ego that thinks this is doing stuff. And I think a lot of the times people, maybe more so on the motivational side, they have good intentions, but there's still something icky about it.
Yes.
Like that maybe they haven't really figured out for themselves what you can just tell. You can just feel it. You can feel like, oh, this person knows what they're like what they're talking about, or they you can tell like they've experienced it or they've
Mm-hmm.
really felt it and thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's these people that just say motivational quotes.
Right.
And it's like they don't feel that. They're just, somebody sitting in their, you know,
Yeah.
in their $40,000 car or whatever, like I'm going to put out a cool workout attitude post today and
Sure.
try to inspire people. And it's like, it's just as icky. It just
Right.
feels icky. And it's
Right.
like, you haven't gone through things like some other people have that can speak on stuff.
Sure. Well, and I changed my wording then with like like you have the power. It's like, I do feel like you do, but I feel like maybe we're using it in weird ways. It's like, we don't all have to be spokesman. We don't all have
Right.
to change the world. Maybe like I feel
Most
like
of
I
us
have
can't.
a huge responsibility teaching children. So I am very conscious of words that I choose, of actions that I take, because I know there are a bunch of little people watching me, and those little people are observing every person around them to try to gain knowledge. So I am very aware of that, and I see the responsibility of
'Cause
the
you did
power
that.
that could take. Yes. But I also know, on the same flip of the coin, I'm not someone that needs to be posting what I think on Instagram. That doesn't affect anybody. My actions on a day to day can maybe affect the people around me and the community around me and the kids that I teach. And maybe on a podcast, unfolding kind of who I am within that. But maybe your power comes from being an awesome parent or being a good friend or
Right.
like just being kind to people that you see in the freaking grocery store.
It's almost like find your, your avenue. It's like find
Yes.
your thing.
The same way, like, maybe the people producing that movie and directing that movie, maybe they suck as people. Maybe they're assholes.
Maybe.
But they made
They make a
something with
good
their
moving movie.
creativity and
Yeah.
their brain made that with a team of people that moved me today. It's
Yep.
like, okay, you figured out your outlet. Do I need to talk to you in a grocery store? Maybe not.
Right.
But you
Right.
figured out your lane.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the issue with social media a lot of the time is it's this tiny little segment. It's this tiny little, maybe it's a minute video or it's a one picture of a post or it's, 240 characters long. I think that's probably why you won't see your opinions on social media or you won't see my opinions on social media. You'll see it in this where we can talk about it for an hour. We can do what we're doing now of we lay it out. You can hear our voice. You can you see these pauses of me thinking of like how I want to lay this out and explain it and not come off like an asshole and be genuine. And that's just so much better of a way to, share your thoughts and your opinion rather than this little Instagram post of you being, trying to get seen a lot of the times is what it feels like and what it seems like is like you're just trying to be noticed and looked at. You're not putting out content or putting out things to whether it's help people or share something. It's just to be seen. It's like I think people can feel that and sense that a lot of the time, and that's why we tend to all follow certain people because they give out that genuineness, and everybody gets attracted to that and goes to that, to where the person that's not genuine and they're just putting up another motivational quote, or they're just putting up another, 2-minute video of them bitching about something at Starbucks again. It's like that, those things don't pull us to you, because it's like, it's just icky. You can just feel it. It's icky. But then the person that's doing this thing that's, moving, and it's inspiring and it's passionate, you tend to go to that person.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we try to be careful with what we say or talk about or post, because it's like, we just don't want to be another number. We don't want to be another, person that's just posting random crap. We want to post things of value. And whether that's an hour-long podcast, or it's a, simple little thing about food, or it's a fun little workout video or something, like, it has this intention of wanting to share our lives and what we're doing, but also help people, whether it's they learn something new, they get motivated.
Yeah. But that's why I like this platform as being more long form, rather than like my Instagram is just like it's like what everybody talks about. It's like a highlight reel.
Right.
And
people
like,
try to make their highlight reel like
because even
their whole being.
Even the negative, right? They make it their whole being, but they also make the negatives. It's like, that's why people don't post like, "Ooh, rough day," because then what comes with that is also the yucky intention of other people of like, tell me it's just gonna be okay, or soothe me, or
people do that though. And
it's like, but they want that. They're not just going like, I'm just trying to show you the full scope of my life.
Right.
The pictures that I post from this last weekend in Chicago are going to just be me smiling or me doing that. I'm not going to put the caption, one of the saddest weekends I've had in a long time. You're just going to see Chicago smiling, having whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm not going to post that. But is the truth me smiling and doing all that? No. But that's what's going to be posted, because there's a business behind it. There's a, whatever. That's why I like being able to do it on here and talk about the ups and downs of all of it.
Yeah. Because you can explain, there's, like you said, it's long form. And there's also stuff that's like, you don't need to post that on. Like, if you're having issues, social media is not the place to post it.
No.
You need to talk to people that are close to you, or people that you trust, and can have a conversation like this, a long form conversation, and really dissect and go through things, not post it on social media and get a couple people to like it and then say, "Oh, I hope you're okay." It's like, that's just a weird, whole dynamic and ickiness. And, but I think the whole point kind of being like, the people that, produce and direct the movie, or even the actors in it, all of the people that come together to make that thing, I feel like when your heart is in it and you're humble about it and you want to put something together that's worth something to give to other people, that ends up being a way better product than the ones that is like, everybody's out to just get their money grab, or they want to get the fame, they want to get the notoriety. Like, when those people come together, I don't think a good product is usually made.
Sure. Yeah.
That's why you gotta feel it,
Yeah.
You gotta, it's just like, you've found it for you, dance or music, or even just, certain things of like a certain movie moves you, and whatever. Doesn't mean, go make movies and stuff, but, it's just like seeking out those things that make you feel something. I think that's what we're lacking a lot, actually, is like, we're scrolling through Instagram and social media and looking at these motivational quotes, and they're just not doing anything for us. But then you go sit down and watch this 2-hour movie where it pulls you in, the characters pull you in, and you feel something for them, and then something happens to them or a person that they love, and you feel that, and then you go through this whole journey of these ups and downs, and you're rooting for them and rooting against somebody, and it's this whole thing. And then there's this conclusion, and maybe you like it or don't like it, but you feel something from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. The aimless scrolling through social media and these, I say this in a a literal sense and in the nicest way I can, but like worthless posts, it just feeds that like, yeah, nothing means anything.
Yeah.
To where you should be seeking out these things that mean something, that make you feel something. Whether
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I'm so sad about this movie, but it's like there's gonna be a second one, and then I'm excited, or it's like I don't know, just feeling something. We
Mm-hmm.
don't feel. We're so numb all the time now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I feel like the quick stuff of social media, of like it's a quick feeding your needs or your whatever, that like, yeah, we don't just like for me, like we don't just like sit and listen to music anymore. We don't take, like, a lot of
Right.
people don't like watching movies because you have to sit there. It's like take it in, or like, it's like you
Well,
could
yeah, you
gain
can't even.
so much from that or whatever, to where it's like, maybe our parents, like, they didn't have other stuff going on. Like, they just listened to a full album. They sat down and they
Yeah.
listened to someone's album, and they have stories of like, you talk to somebody where it's like, oh my gosh, and this album came out and I listened to it in the car. It's like, this is how it made me feel. I was wearing this. I was in the car. I was driving to
Yep.
here, whatever. Like, could you say that with anything nowadays? Really? Probably not, because there's 1,000 things going on while you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's like the force being present. Like, we have to intentionally do that now, which there's also benefits to that. I love my phone. I love that we have technology like that
Yeah.
yeah, I have a bunch of shit I can get done at the same time. But making that time to be intentional, of like the nights that we just sit and we have a drink and we listen to music, are my favorite nights ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
Not when we're
Yeah.
spastic, you're on your phone, we're watching a podcast, I'm on my phone, and we're cooking dinner and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
Yeah.
just when it's just simple, taking in something that, I mean, I probably like it way more because I like music, so I like the whole experience of it. But they're like that, like going to a movie. I think finding what maybe those things are for you. Some people like painting. Some people like, it doesn't have to be art, but like finding something that is simple and can take your focus away from pretty much anything that you're doing in life, whether it's work or on your phone or blah, blah, blah. And like giving yourself time to do those things.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Seek out the things that make you feel something.
Yeah.
Like,
I know I can be in a bad mood and listen to music and feel better.
yeah.
And like the fact that I have that nailed down, I feel like we all probably have something like that.
Yeah, probably. And I have a hard time, for some people that like looking through social media or something might be something that it gives them a laugh and it
Sure.
changes their day and whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's few and far between. I can't imagine that like good things take time. Again, it's another old cliche or adage, like good things take time, you know? And when we're living in a world that like everything is 2 seconds long, it's like there's not a ton of good that comes from that unless it's super, super like concentrated, pure,
And
like,
also it maybe just connects to a certain person.
yeah, timing of something. But it's just like anybody can get something out of a 2 hour movie, whether it's one line,
Mm-hmm.
even the, one of the trailers, there's one line in the trailer that I was like, oh, that's cool, and it's like,
Do you remember what it was?
it was something Mel Gibson said. I don't
Oh.
remember exactly what it was, but
I'm old and hot.
I'm old. But it's just like a 2 hour movie, you're gonna get something from that, whether it's something small or something large. A 2 second Instagram thing, I just don't think you get a lot from. Like good things take time, and it takes, you being present and in the moment and just like sitting there with it and being. That's why I think theaters are so cool, is because not only are you like, you're literally isolated. You're isolated in this room watching this movie, they tell you don't be on your phone, don't distract, don't do all this shit to make the experience worse for everybody else. You're in a room with a bunch of strangers too. You're all experiencing the same thing at the same time. There's something going on in that. You're all invested in this thing together, in this experience together, and going through this movie. And that's why I think a lot of people tend to agree on whether movies are good or bad. I think a lot of the time it's that experience that you're having together. And when you're by yourself on the couch going through your phone, you're not experiencing anything with anybody. There's no energy besides your own sitting there going through that. And then it's 2-second things.
Mm-hmm.
You scroll, see something, scroll, see something, scroll. And it's just this constant changing everything up rather than like sitting in this 2-hour movie.
And letting it take you.
And going through this story of what's going on. That's probably why people don't go to the movies anymore. People literally can't sit through a 2-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
They watch it at home and then they don't even watch it. They're on their phone and they're getting up and, going and doing something else and they're coming back and on their phone and this and that. They're not sitting there experiencing it. And I'm like, why? Why? Like, put the thing down, or even if it's not the phone, but it's something else, it's like, good things take time. So sit in that,
Mm-hmm.
if it's an album or it's just music that you enjoy, just sitting and listening to it and sitting with the time. Everybody acts like they don't have time, but there is some time, and just be there with it. It's like you wonder why nothing moves you, or you're not passionate about anything, or you don't feel like you have a purpose. It's like, well, you're not sitting with yourself, and you're not sitting and being present and in the moment. And whether it's enjoying a movie or listening to music or sitting on the back porch, like
Mm-hmm.
you're not just chill.
Yeah.
You're not with yourself.
Yeah.
You're always disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think I love music so much, is because it forces me to like I have a reaction that I have no control over. Like if I hear a song that really connects with me, not even like listening to the words, maybe it's just like the beats in it or the music, like it could be anything about it, where it's just like, oh my God, like it feels like I just like took pre-workout. Like it energizes me like no other, and it's just like, oh my God, this song. And I like can't get it out of my head, or like it inspires me to like do something crazy or something like super productive, or like I could listen to a song and then get all of my work done or whatever. It's like nothing does that besides music. But it's like, it's so cool that someone else created that, and it made me feel something so intensely.
Yeah.
It's like, you almost like you feel like you have a connection with that person. It's like,
yeah,
holy shit, your creativity moved me. That's what this whole thing is about. I at least like appreciate creative people and appreciate people that can like put that into form.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my gosh, like I felt what you were giving.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. And I think in a weird way, you're probably feeling the same thing that person was feeling too. Yeah. That's why people like certain types of music or certain artists, and other people maybe don't like them or whatever. It's like, I get what they're doing.
Yeah.
And some people just don't get what they're doing. And
it's like you can share a love with somebody that you don't even know.
Yeah, you both are on the same page. You're on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
You're feeling what they're putting out, and it's like, that's why they're putting it out, is for people to feel that.
Yeah.
And that's lost.
I think it's weakened. I don't think it's lost. I think people are still inspired and feel that when they give it the time. And, whether it's music or movies, or you watch a game and it's like, I will never get that game out of my head. Like I will forever remember that, and that holds something special to you. Like it's just taking the time, I think, to recognize that. Anytime that this happens to me when I listen to music, I could be like, oh, I must really like the song. And it could be that. Or it could be like, wow, I got to experience that. That's amazing. Like, this is the most happiest I'm going to be right now. And it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's like the fact that I get to feel that is cool. But it's like recognizing it.
Yeah.
And going, oh, cool. Music has the ability to do that for me.
Yeah.
And I'm able to appreciate that. And I'm able to look forward to that. And just like isolate it into a specific thing is awesome. But yeah, I don't think it's a loss. I think it's we don't recognize it as much when it does happen, I think.
No, there's more distractions. There's more pulling away from that kind of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
There's nothing that like makes me feel more than like incredible sports moments.
Yes.
You know, like when somebody wins the UFC title for the first time and you see them like after in the octagon and they're getting interviewed, it's like it's weird. It's like I can just almost feel what they're feeling.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And same with like when the Rams win the Super Bowl and you just see everybody celebrating and people are trying to put the words to what just happened and is going on, and like, you know, they just can't do it. And those I feel more than anything, just that like oh my God, like it's just it's so funny. Like they say like they can't describe it. It's like I'm not even in it and I can't describe it. Like
but I think
that moment has to
that,
feel so incredible.
That's something that I feel like it's just like whatever you can relate to. Like, you can relate to that feeling. You've been in that, some version of that yourself. So you can feel like you've talked about it's like some games where it's like you can picture it like you're there and you can feel it like you were just there or like you're in there. Like, and then same thing, like when it creates like like they win or they get the title. It's like, well, I know what that feels like, so I can't even imagine. Like that's like
times a million. Yeah,
is what that must feel like, and that was incredible. So like, what you're feeling must be out of this world. That I can't feel that as much, but I can feel like, and I'm so inspired by greatness. So it's like watching even just a little bit of like the Tom Brady documentary or the when we watch the Bulls documentary. It's like hearing stories and getting to experience great people.
Yeah.
Getting to achieve something in the craft that they want to achieve it in is like, so little people will get to experience that. So when you get to hear them talk about the process or like when they do win or when they, you know, kind of get those achievements, it's like it gives you the most hope and inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, like so many of them they're setting a new standard. They're doing what nobody's ever done before. And like that's what's just so unbelievable a lot of the time is I think we think in like absolutes or like that life is going to stay this way. You know, Tom Brady's always going to be the greatest quarterback that's ever lived. That's just what it's going to be. Well, guess what? Tom Brady hasn't been alive for a million years. You know, he wasn't the greatest quarterback in the world beforehand.
Right.
And that's why I love when people do this all the time. Like nobody's ever going to break that record or there's never going to be another Tom Brady. It's like, no, but somebody's going to do what he's done and they're going to do it better.
Yep.
Like there's going to be a new person and it's not going to be Tom Brady. There's somebody who's going to have won more Super Bowls than him.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we always think that these things are just going to be how they are right now. And it's like these documentaries are really cool, or being able to live through a certain period where somebody is doing that of like they're setting a new standard and they're breaking through the ceiling that there is. And it's like, man, it's just like to feel that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's got to be so much harder for that person than the people watching, but it's like that's the stuff that like that's what we live for.
Yeah.
Not this like, oh, so and so posted another picture today.
Yeah.
Like, comment,
Yeah.
oh, so and so posted this. Fuck you. It's like,
Yeah.
that's so nothing.
Yeah.
That's so nothing. It's unbelievable. That's why I said before, it's like, it's so worthless. In so many ways, it's so worthless.
And to think of like, we have not even, I don't even know how long this has been. We have not even touched on the topic. But
I'm ready for more whiskey.
I am too. But it's like when you think about, and this goes back to like the Zac Efron thing and the Centennials. It's like you have your life to do whatever the hell you want with it. And it's like you see people like Tom Brady. You see people like Michael Jordan. You see people like Michael Jackson, or like even people in the music industry where it's like they changed culture.
Mm-hmm.
They changed how boys see sports. They changed how we create art and music, and like that changes how we dress and fashion and what we listen to, and it changes how we behave because of what we're listening to in songs or what we see in movies. It's like, and you're putting more of, and I'm saying you're as in like us as a society, I'm a part of this, is like we're putting more time, effort, and attention to hate on what do we hate now? What are we not liking? What are we seeing on Instagram that we're being jealous of or that we don't like, or we're comparing ourselves to that? It's like you could be spending your time creating greatness, being greatness. Now, that doesn't mean everybody has to be freaking that. Create your own greatness, whatever level that is. Maybe you being the best nurse or the best parent or the best whatever, best student. That's you achieving greatness in your own way, and that's still valuable. But it's like, think about that. What are you using your time, energy, and bandwidth for? To trying to create your own personal greatness, or
to get through
wasting your time on things that don't even fulfill you? It's like, I don't know, those people on Instagram aren't going to die with you, but your feeling of how your life went, your legacy, what you achieved does. Take that with you, not, oh, well, that one girl, remember when I saw her on Instagram and she
right
and I made a mean comment about her? It's like, that was a moment out of your day.
Well, I think that's such a good point. Like,
and maybe that does give you joy. I don't know, but for a lot of people, I don't think it does.
I would have a lot of questions if that gives you the most amount of joy. I would have a lot of questions to ask.
Joy. Like, I think of like watching baby videos or watching the little kid videos. Like, that brings me happiness. Does it bring me the same amount of happiness as maybe a song? No. So I'm going to put more time and attention towards the song.
Sure, but you also understand the worth that has, and you understand that can't be your life.
Sure.
Watching baby videos can't be your life. Making mean comments to people on social media can't be your life. Like, that's not a good thing. And even it's just like, and that's why I think you make a good point too, of like Tom Brady was doing stuff to become the greatest version of him and what he wanted to do. That's what he's putting his time and effort towards.
It just happened to be the greatest for a lot of people.
Well, yeah, and then it impacts a lot of people.
His greatest just became, it happened to be better than everybody else.
And it impacted people. It inspired people. Like, he's putting his time and effort towards that. Other people are putting their time and effort towards making their Instagram algorithm perfect. And that's just not the same thing.
Sure.
It's just not even close. Like, I understand that there's a lot of people making a lot of money off of Instagram or social media or whatever. But
I mean, we're posting this on YouTube.
Right.
So it's like, we're not hating it.
Right.
We understand.
But there's also a balance and understanding values and worth it. This takes, an hour and a half of our time, and it takes me maybe an hour to edit, and then it's done. It's not consuming my life 24/7 and scrolling through stuff or making sure I post stuff or make stuff or this or that or whatever. Like, that's not what life is about. And I just, I don't know. I think my entire point with all of this is I see a lot of people that are so frustrated with their lives, yet they think social media is the way to figure it out in a weird way. You know, to where it's like, oh, I'll give you some pointers on what it is. Go away from that and sit with yourself. You know, find the things that, like we're talking about, find what moves you and follow that. You're instead spending your time getting angry at stuff on social media and whatnot, and then wondering why things maybe you aren't going well for you, or you're upset or you're angry. It's like, well, the direction or the decisions you're making is why. And I think that's maybe more what I'm trying to say is like, you're saying these things or angry about these things, but then you're not understanding or seeing the actions that you're taking or making. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, maybe let's clear that up. And here's ways to do that.
Yeah.
You know, good things take time. If it's not taking a little bit of time, it's probably not that great for you. It's like the whole get rich quick, get fit in 30 days. Mm-hmm. These quick things don't last, and they don't teach you, and they don't help you to go a lifetime with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell we're going to title this episode.
How long has it been?
An hour. Hour 14.
Jeez. Let's just get more whiskey and do part 2, and we'll post it 2 separate days. But not do part 2, but do our actual topic.
So the topic that we forgot to talk about.
We just, that one is like the 45 minutes since we did the over an hour one.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I would need more whiskey to talk about it.
But yeah, I mean, in classic us fashion, we have something to talk about, and then we don't ever even end up talking about it. This is a whole episode.
I think it's because I'm gone more. Like, we are not connecting as much, just simply because of the time, and we come back and we are in work mode, and all great things. But it's like, you know, yes, maybe you don't like listening to this, maybe you like listening to it, but this is, to me, this is what this podcast was also supposed to be, is like an insight into our conversations and conversations that we have, not just about fitness, but about life and how we feel about things. And at our age, this is our perception. As 24-year-olds, this is what we think about the world and our own life and topics.
Yeah.
That it's like, I feel like that's why these episodes lately have been that, is because we would typically just be talking about this. This is a conversation that we would have. And would it last this long? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, we're not this is not the extended cut just because it's the podcast. This is probably the shortened version because it's the podcast. That these are conversations that we have with each other all the time and challenge each other with, and just we also find interesting. Like, I would much rather talk to you about this than like surface level. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just I don't know. Yeah. That's what we talk about.
I think we should take a pause and get more whiskey, and then I got more stuff to talk about.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much that's better than whiskey and a good talk. Constantly adjusting.
I have something.
That's what's going to be on your gravestone. She was cold and always adjusting.
That's what I have something to comment on your whiskey and a good talk thing. But like, I feel so insecure when I'm on the airplane because
What?
like I'm sitting by complete strangers, yet I am always thinking about like, wow, they probably I'm so annoyed with how much I keep moving. Wow, they're so annoyed with how much I keep moving. Because like I'm hearing you in my head like, wow, stop moving, stop adjusting, stop adjusting. So like anytime I'm like, I just I want to be like I think like, oh, I don't want them to think like I'm being annoying or whatever. Like I do. I'm putting it on them. Like, wow, they must hate me. Like, why do I care? But I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm moving so much. I only get one more, and like
more move.
When they go to the bathroom, then I'll adjust this thing.
Oh my God.
But that's why that will always be like my, I don't know, like my favorite thing to do with people, but especially with you. Like, I think that's why what attracted me to you as friends was like, and just like to be your friend was the conversations that we would have. Like, you would challenge me in such a way, and you would be comfortable talking about things that I was feeling in myself, and it wouldn't like, oh, well, that's weird, or like, you shouldn't think that about yourself, or like just the amount of like, I would think like I want to kind of do these things in my life, and I want to try to achieve these things, or I want to, whatever. And then like your response is always like, well, I'm the greatest that ever lived, so you're gonna have to live up to me. And it's like, but with 100% like sincerity with that. And it's like,
well, that has changed.
No, it is definitely.
Let's make that clear.
It is definitely changed, but I think that where I was at that age, like it was so like.
Oh, there's somebody crazier than me.
It wasn't even. It was crazier, but it made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm not dreaming big enough, or like, oh, yes, this is okay for me to be this way. Because no one else that I was around, like, and they were always super supportive of me, but it wasn't like it's almost like, unless you feel that yourself, it's hard to have someone understand you fully, or hold you accountable, or respect and like give props to the things you're doing.
Well, yeah, because a lot of what happens, or the narrative is like, it's like, oh, relax, like you don't have to be that way, or you don't have to do that. Like, we're all normal, we're all the same, we're all this. It's like that person that is trying to become something incredible. There's not a lot of people that have that ambition. Yeah. So you kind of get, I don't know, you get badgered in a way that it can be frustrating. As it's like, you have this ambition and this want to make life the best that you can make it. And then you just see a bunch of people that are just settling for what they have. Mm-hmm. And not trying to reach for more or go for more. Mm-hmm. And when you're the opposite side of that person, that frustrates you. And then those people are trying to tell you to calm down, because that makes them feel comfortable. It's like, well, don't reach for the stars. Like, none of us are. Mm-hmm. So don't, because it makes me insecure then. It makes me feel like I have to. And it's like, well, no, you don't have to, but I'm gonna. And like, let me try to do that. And then you get around people that maybe have the same ambitions. It feels like, oh, you're my person. Like, I can, I can have a conversation with you, or a different conversation with you. I can talk about these things that I feel that I can't do that with other people, because they're, it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah. It is such a different level of validation, because it's like, it's true validation. It's like, exactly how I'm feeling. So when you say that I'm not working hard enough, or like when I started working out with you and you would push me.
Yeah.
And it's like, not many people around me were pushing me. They were always saying like, you're pushing yourself too hard. I'm doing that too much. To where it's like, then when I start doing something like that with you, and you're like, you're kind of being wimpy about this, or like you're not working hard enough, or you're not, like, why did you miss a day or whatever, and like holding me to a new level of accountability that it was kind of like, oh, someone is, and granted that's not how it is anymore. You're one of those people that's like, you gotta stop.
Which I'm starting to rethink that right now.
But
I'm starting to rethink that now of like, that's what kind of drew us together, was that like,
you always
like, no, don't fucking relax. Let's push this and see where it goes. Let's keep going. To where I think I might try to do that now. I might go like, let's do this till the wheels fall off, and then we'll recalibrate. Like, I'm not gonna tell you to, like, oh, you need to rest and relax, or like, no, I'm gonna try to get as much out of you as I can.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do this crazy fucking fly every weekend and come back and work out like normal and live this. It's like, let's do it then.
Yeah.
Like, there was something. It's like that feeling is coming back of like, there was something so unique about that relationship. Of, like,
I think
wow, this person just won't let me be normal. They won't let me be a normal person. And it was so energizing.
I think we saw that in each other of like that example. Like, everybody saw the weakness in me. Everybody saw, and which, granted, yes. I was exhausted. Yes, I was. Like, it's not like they were wrong. Like, they were just trying to be good friends, good parents, good, like, whatever. But it's a different energy when I then go to talk to you and you see like almost like you saw a different and a higher potential in me of like, no, you can actually handle more. You're stronger than this. You can do more. You can still come in and work out and go dance. You can, whatever the thing is, like, you want to achieve this, do this extra. Like, this isn't even where you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking beyond that. And then like holding me to that standard. And even if that was at that point, like, you making me feel like I was worthy of so much because you paid attention enough to that and you thought you were the best in the world. Like, that was always our debate, was like, no, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. And we kept going back and forth, just proving to each other like, well, this is why I'm better than you, because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So it's like we were just always challenging each other. But within that challenge was us like constantly exceeding our own expectation and constantly like building and improving. And
well, yeah, and I think that's where that, kind of like, it's all about who you talk to or have conversations with. Is it's like, we're constantly challenging each other and trying to push each other forward at that time, and all these other people are trying to drag you back down to earth.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't want to be on earth. I want to be up in the fucking stars and in the clouds and achieving shit that nobody has before. And there's certain sacrifices that need to be made to do that. And if you still have that want and that ambition, there's a certain way that you need to kind of approach life, and certain relationships that you need to hold on to, or conversations you need to have. Like, I have become that person that's trying to drag you back down to earth again. Like those other friends.
Yeah.
Or those other family members or whatever it was. And that's like, I'm not, that's where I'm like, I'm rethinking all this now. It's like, I'm not doing that anymore. Like, just, fuck that. You want to be, crazy superstar. Like, yeah, you're not doing enough. You're complaining about this one little thing. Like,
right.
We see all these other people doing certain things and what they talk about their day like and whatever. Your day's not that. My day's not that.
Yep.
It's like, this isn't enough then.
Yeah.
That's like, sure, is there a price to pay? 100%. But for the 24 years of our lives, we've been willing to pay that price. And I think there's been a little bit of a transition these last few years of like, the attitude just not being there for that. The attitude of like, oh, you're tired, come home and rest and take a nap and you can sleep in and whatever. And that coddling crap doesn't get you to where you want to be, doesn't get me to where I want to be.
Sure. Yeah, and I think that's just like a level of like again, we're getting super personal on the podcast per usual. But like I used to never be scared to say anything to you. Like I remember, and maybe you didn't even remember this, maybe this had no impact on you at all, but like I remember it was towards senior year and like you were still hanging out with the same friends or partying or whatever. And I remember just like kind of like being kind of bratty to you, but like saying like, so what dreams do you want to achieve? Like, oh, you want to go play football? You want to go, do all of these things with your life? Like, you're acting regular right now. You're not going to, you're going to be regular then.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go and smoke and drink and hang out with everybody else. Then you're going to be everybody else. You have to train different. You have to, like, right now, even as a junior or a senior, you have to be different. You have to give those things up to have a better life later. They will have what they have because they're having fun now. Do you want to have fun now or do you want to live your dreams?
Yeah.
And it's like, to say that to somebody, I would never, I could never say that to anybody else but you.
Yeah.
And knowing that, like, you could get super pissed at that and I don't care.
Yeah.
Because he does want to hear that. Well, and I know he wants to hear that.
Do you feel like then there's more at stake now? Like we were just friends and it was, we were going to probably go separate ways anyways. There was no thought or idea that we would then get into a relationship. To where now we're in a relationship. We live in the same house. We're, doing a podcast together. We're trying to do like a whole business thing together.
Yeah.
Do you feel you can't say those things because it's a little bit different if I walk out the door then? It's a little bit different if you walk out the door then. There's a little bit more at stake, which is maybe the fun and the challenge of it.
I don't know if there's more at stake. I feel like I was less scared of... I knew you could handle it then. Like, I don't know if you could handle me saying that now. I feel like back then it was like, you know what? I don't even give a shit if you're mad at me because you're not being greatness right now. You're not living how you talk about living, and you say that you're better than me and you're doing that. No, that's not how it's happening.
Oh yeah, but like that's how self-obsessed I was though. Is that I was doing more than everybody else and could still do that, is what the thoughts in my head were happening.
Sure. Yeah.
And in a little bit of reality.
A little bit of reality. And me at that point going, well, I'm doing more too and not doing that. Let's see how this ends up.
And what's also funny is...
And did it happen?
What's also funny is...
That's how it happened.
No, none of this... None of this happened in the way that you thought it was. You thought you were going to be a professional dancer.
But that's not because I didn't. That's based off of choice.
Sure, but that's everybody.
No, I think a lot of people, they are forced to give up. Because years and years of not getting jobs, not making money off of it.
I don't necessarily believe in that.
Okay.
And you're not forced into anything.
Sure.
Most of the time. There's very, very rare specific examples. But for most people, there's no forcing. You're not willing to make the sacrifice anymore of maybe not making money, not getting where you want to go as quickly as you want to go, that sort of thing. But everything is choices.
Sure. I feel like I'm living everything that I had desired for myself.
Cool.
Maybe not fully.
Sure.
I'm still working towards it, but...
Yeah. But you're on the path.
I don't think anything of my life since then has been not great.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So I guess I was right for myself.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's not like it's not like I told the future.
No. And I think if you would have said that, you been happy and in making money and in the dance world, you would have been right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a different conversation. That is a different conversation. And it's just something that I'm rethinking in this moment of like, I think there's things that happen, life happens. You say like you think I couldn't handle that kind of you saying that or whatever now, to where I go, no, I could definitely handle that. I was able to handle it in a different way before because, like I said, I was so self-obsessed and, yeah, it's like, who the fuck are you?
Mm-hmm.
At that time in my life, to where now it's like, I've just been through so much.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, it feels like so much that it's like, I feel like I'm a somewhat learned person, that you saying that now, I would kind of go, yeah, I could see that. And that would kind of be my answer.
You could see what?
Just like, you saying like you're acting the same way that everybody else is, you're going to be everybody else then. To where if you want to be different, you got to act different. You got to do things different.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay.
It's like before I would probably go like, who the fuck are you? I am doing all the things different than everybody else. I'm just also doing this thing too.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you should figure that out. Like, you want to talk about me? Talk about you.
Sure.
You're not doing all the cool shit. You're boring as fuck. To where now I just kind of go, yeah, you could be right. You're probably right. I should think about that and look at that, and maybe I should approach things differently and whatever.
Right.
To where it's like, it's kind of boring. It's a boring attitude, but
yeah,
I think it's just I'm a little bit more. Things have happened, and they've affected me. I'm not an 18-year-old that's never seen the outside of school. I've been outside of school for still a short amount of time, but things have happened in that time that it's like, oh, you learn things and quickly, and
life kind of slapped you in the face a little bit.
Yeah, life slaps you in the face, and it runs up on you quickly, especially if you're not prepared for it, and especially if you're somebody that is or was very self-obsessed and thought you were doing everything right and nothing could touch you. And then that shit shows you real quick, like, yeah, we're not just going to touch you. We're going to control you. And you have to find some sort of power in that, and, figure out different methods in a sense. You can't just keep the same, like, your ego is beat up. It beats you. It just continues to beat you up, or life beats up your ego more so. And you start to see different sides of things, and you figure out different sides of life. It's not this fantasy that you think it is. And then you have to find a way to still play it and win. I see it as such a game. Like, it's just, life is such a game, and it's like the rules are constantly changing, the objectives are constantly changing. And that's what life is to me. Is it's like, at the beginning part of a life, it was all about, achieve your goals, achieve your goals, achieve your goals. And then the game changes, and now it's like, figure out how to be happy, figure out how to be happy, figure out how to be happy. And then it changes to, maybe it's achieve your goals again, or it's something else. Like, the game continues to shift and change all the time, and you're the same person playing it, and you have to figure out the new rules, and you have to figure out how to win and master the game over and over and over again. And just as soon as you think you got it down and it's going, something else comes up, and the game changes again, the rules change again. You got to figure out the game again. And I think that's where, like, the Buddhism comes in, of like, you're just constantly figuring out the suffering. You're constantly figuring out how to be happy, how to get what you want out of this experience. And the rules change, but in a way, those objectives always kind of stay the same. Once you come back to normal, you come back to center. You come back to, okay, what is it that's really going on here? You know, because you get all frantic and the rules change and oh my God, everything's moving and changing. And like, you know, people are leaving my life. People are coming into my life. And what I want is different. What I don't want, I now want. And you have to just come back to, okay, where is my grounded point here? And you have to figure out techniques and ways to get to that point. For some people, it's listening to music. For some people, it's going and sitting and watching a movie and being present for 2 hours. Or it's sitting out on the porch with silence and being there. And you find a way to figure that out. And then you go, okay, what is going on and what do I actually need or want here? Oh, it's to be happy and to get what I want out of this experience. So now how do I go about getting that? Mm-hmm. And then you go. But it's seeming to be what I'm learning is it always comes back to that for me.
Is to be happy?
Yeah, well, it's be happy and find what you want and get what you want out of this experience. And those ways of being happy or getting what you want out of the experience can change and be different. But I think that's where it comes back to core things of, you know, I want to laugh. So I watch comedy and comedy podcasts and listen to those people. I want to be inspired and reach my goals. So I listen to people that inspire me and are all about like, you know, achieve what you want to achieve and go after it and go full force and do this. And then I do that. So it's like, it comes back to these core things, but the methods of getting there may change or the ideas may change. And then you just get older. You just see more shit happen and more shit happens to you, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't think any of this was going to happen. None of it. Not a single fucking thing. You know?
Sure.
And why would I think that I would know what's coming next then? And there's a hardcore depression in that, and there's a hardcore enlightenment in that. And you choose which way you want to go. Mm-hmm. And I am going towards the enlightenment part of that of, yeah, I don't know. And that can be incredible and amazing. Yes. And it can be better than I ever thought it could be. You know, I had these visions of what was going to happen. It could be 10 times better than that. Mm-hmm. Why put the expectation or the ceiling on that? It could be way better and through the roof.
Yeah. Because within your making the decision, you could be limiting yourself almost.
Right.
I feel like that's what my life has been since graduating high school. Is like, oh, I could never even have dreamed of this. Like, everything that my life has brought or opportunities that I've had or relationships that I've created, like, that was not in the plans. None of that was in the plans. But this is also 10 times better than any of the plan I had. I mean, maybe besides marrying Justin Bieber, that maybe would have been the tops of the tops. But
well, there's a difference between plans and insanity.
I also don't think I'd really like him if I was in person with him, but just hearing more like his Instagram videos, I'm like, oh, you're annoying.
Let me guess, Justin Bieber's another man to you? He's up there with Tom Holland and
no, he's like a
Zac
cool,
Efron as a man.
He's like that cool guy, like the skinny boy vibes, and like he can like wear cool things, and
he was a skater boy.
I mean, is he still beautiful? Yes, but he's like a different kind of. He's like a cool kid. He's a cool kid. That's what it is. He's a kid. I would see him as younger than me. That's a whole different conversation, but
he's a boy.
He's a boy. Yeah, he's a boy.
He's a cute little boy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you could potentially be limiting yourself if you see it through that lens, or if you're scared of what's going to come next, or if you, like you said, if you're in the sadness versus the enlightenment part. It's like you could be missing not only what you're experiencing right now as the joy. It's like what I said of like, you know, like I get such a feeling from music. I bet a lot of people feel that way with a lot of things, but they're not present with it. I'm sure I'm like that with other things besides music, but I'm only present with the music.
Right.
But same thing, like moving forward, it's like change can be exciting and bring opportunity. Then what's going to be tomorrow, the next step, where you move next, the next person you're going to be with, the next job that you're going to take, whatever, like all of that could be way better than you even know, and just be open to whatever that is.
Right. And
when you find it, nail it down and work your ass off.
Yeah. And like, as beautiful as those words sound, life is a lot longer than that. Life is so long. I think that's what people get. That's what I have gotten frustrated in the past is you see these people that you enjoy and they talk about like, you just got to find what you love and work hard and do this, or you got to, there's all these different things that they say, all these motivation, these inspirations. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I really respond to that. And I like that. And then you wake up the next day and it's the same day as yesterday. And then you wake up the next day after that and it's the same day as the day before. It's just the same thing over and over again. But then if you go, well, what was 5 years ago? 5 years ago looks a lot different than it does now. Life is long and it's slow. So you have to just keep your head in the game, Zac Efron, and slowly move through it. You see these inspirational things and everybody gets all, let's go do this and this and that. And then it kind of wears them down because they realize that their day doesn't change that much. Because it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen quickly like that. These, stories that you hear of these people that it's just like, in one day, it just all changed for me. That's either a bunch of baloney or they're an exception to what the rule is. The rule is this shit happens slowly. And you have to continue to make the decisions that you feel like are going to better yourself or your life or your situation, or, whether it's get you in shape or it's find the thing that you love to do and do it, or you already know what you want to do, but it's maybe not successful for you yet and continue to do it. It happens a lot slower than what everybody puts out there and talks about. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge, is sticking with it and continuing to do it day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, even maybe. Yeah. It's easy to be happy for a day. It's very difficult to be happy for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, for a year. That's what's difficult. It's not difficult to get inspired and be good for a day. That's not what people struggle with. What people struggle with is the constant getting beat down for long periods of time. And that's not what is talked about in these things.
Sure.
It's like, find your dream and go after it. Yay. Everybody's like, yeah. And then they wake up and they're in the same bed, in the same house, in the same apartment.
Even if you found it, like, you're still going to have, like, not saying like I'm a great example of this, but like I have been living my best life lately. Like, I have been having fun. I'm feeling a new level of purpose and excitement for work. And yet, just this last weekend, I was like, I couldn't even tell you the last time I was this sad.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. But I'm having an awesome time week after week. I'm traveling to places. Like, I love going to Chicago. It's my home city where I went to these things. And it's like, I am just, I can't get out of it. Nothing is affecting, I guess there was things that happened, but like, really, like, it took me out of commission. I was just sad. It's like, so it's like, even when you find it or you're like in a good space, even those times you're still life is gonna get you. And not even life, but your own feelings, your own mind is gonna get you.
Yeah.
So it's not even just like, oh, I just got to get there and then it'll be good.
Right.
Oh, I just got to get this amount of money, then I'll be good. Oh, I got to be with this person and then it'll be good.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's not how it works.
No.
And that's depressing to people, is that the battle never stops. It's always there. It's always going to be there. The battle to be happy, the battle to be successful, You know, you don't think Jeff Bezos is still going, oh, how can I be better than everybody else still? There's
Yep.
still some little bit of insecurity that's happening in there
Yep.
that makes him want to do more than everybody else. And I think there's something great about that of like, if you can believe in that, you then start to see other people the same way of like, oh, you have an insecurity that you're trying to kind of get over or work through, that you're battling every day. And I have that too. Now I can not be so angry when you do something that pisses me off. And now I can somewhat ask for sympathy when I do something that maybe pisses you off. And that's where we're at in the world, where there's none of that. Everybody's got these flaming insecurities and they're being shown every which way. And then they're getting angry when they see somebody else doing it, rather than going, I see you and me. I see me and you. We're the same. So let's calm down and realize you have battles you're going through. I have battles. We're both trying to work through them and get to where we want to be. Cool. Let's work with that and go.
Yeah.
Instead, it's that like, ugh, why are you doing this? You're an asshole. I hate you. You suck. And then you go home and you're all,
Right.
oh, I hate my life. I'm depressed. I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, well, look at how you're responding to the world.
Yeah.
And how you're responding to yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a real beauty in accepting, like, this battle doesn't stop. It's always there. You're always working on it. You're always trying to be better. You're always trying to be more successful or happier or stay happy or whatever. And I think when you realize that that's one of the things that just life is about, you can relax then.
Because you can recognize the beauty in that, and recognize there's two parts to that. Like, the battle never stops, so you don't have to have it figured out.
You'll never
figure it out.
Never.
Because it's constant and it's continual of the challenges that, like, I think of the shit that I used to get upset about, or the things that would like really tear me down. I would not think twice about it. Yet, like 2 years ago, I would think, oh, I'm always gonna be mad at this. This will never be something that I don't get upset about. And now I'm like, who cares? It's like, and then there's gonna be something new that, triggers me or whatever. That's like, it's never ending. So you don't have to have it figured out. Just roll with it. And like, okay, this is something that I'm dealing with right now. Currently, as a 24-year-old, this could be nothing when I am 30 or 50. I'm going to have a whole new set of things.
Yeah.
But in the flip side of that, of just like the battle to be happy and the battle of sadness and struggle is continual, like, the opportunity and choice of happiness, choice of doing things that bring you joy, and being able to see the positive and like truly believe that it's a positive that's equally there.
Yep. It's the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
It's the world balances itself out in a weird way. And I think that's why religion has been so popular, is the heaven and hell thing. They're constantly existing at all points, all the time. You have the, everything is depressing and everything can be looked at as, this is horrible, this is hard, this is a battle. Or the other side of the coin is, everything can be euphoric. Everything is a gift. Everything is an opportunity. Everything is a chance to make your life better or be happier. There's happiness and sadness. There's always two sides. And they're always pulling in both directions. And a lot of the times there's a snowball too of, if you start to go in one direction, it gets easier and easier to continue to go in that direction. Mm-hmm. So when you're choosing all these negative thoughts and feelings and actions, it becomes easier to choose that then. And that can be, there's no debate on whether things are sad or not. But sad is
Right.
also in that negative direction. If you just see the world is sad and everything is falling apart and your life is falling apart and this thing makes me sad and then I go over here and this thing makes me sad. It's like, no, you just have a weird perception of the world. You have a, maybe not weird, but you have a certain perspective of the world to where you can look at things as way better and awesome and exciting and
Yes.
opportunities and as happiness and
even that is a choice. That's
yes.
a choice that I made on the plane on the way back. Now, did it take me until leaving the weekend to make this conscious choice? Yes, I was sitting in the sadness all weekend, but I made the choice of, okay, I'm not trying to just switch it into a positive. I'm trying to see no, I felt crappy, and I'm not trying to paint that picture like it didn't happen, because
Right.
that's also, I don't feel like, is healthy. But where can the opportunity to see an equal amount of positive come into play? Of, yes, did I feel shitty and sad? Sure. But did I have the last 5 weekends of something that I was nervous that I wasn't going to be able to feel with this job, and scared that I wasn't going to like the traveling and working with them, and like, I am so grateful that I get to experience this and it'd be great. I had 5 weekends in a row. This is the last, like, okay, so I had one out of this whole season so far. Hey, doing pretty good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like the understanding the situation. Like, I'm tired. So of course it's going to affect my mood as well. I haven't been eating as good as I typically do. I didn't work out all last week. That also could be affecting my mood. So also giving reasons to, like, it's not just my body is giving up and I'm like, I can't handle it. It's like, no, I'm also setting myself up in this negative way of like, I can't get sleep. I'm not prioritizing my food. I'm kind of assisting in this emotion. And then also the positive of, like, I had people surrounding me that made me feel good and kept checking in on me. And like, even someone like Terrell, like,
Mm-hmm.
all I needed was just someone to go, yep, I know this is intense. It sucks. Not trying to change how I felt or trying to, like, well, why do you think you feel this way? And just like, yep, I get it. Yep. That's how it was last week. And you're feeling that, and that's okay. And then even the thing that, like, I did get upset about, it's that it was the mirror thing of like, oh, okay, I know I'm getting upset about this because I'm doing the same thing over here and I'm feeling weird about it or whatever. And still, me of 3 months ago, 4 months ago, that incident still would have been making me sad right now. Yet I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can move on. I brought it up, whatever. It was semi talked about, and that's all I needed just to validate for myself. Like, okay, this is something I'm aware of, but that's it. And I can let it go, and I can be at peace with that situation. And I don't have to hold on to that. So, like, even that, being able to do that is huge for me. I would never have been able to do that before. So it's like, even that is a positive of like, wow, I got an opportunity to have something come up for me and show myself, oh, you have changed. You have worked on this. The things that you've been working on are working. And this is proof of that. That is great. I would not have maybe been able to experience that without getting the couple days of being sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. This too shall pass. You know?
And it never used to for me.
Another old saying.
Yeah.
Like, and I think what's kind of interesting or unique about that is, like, you saying that it used to not do that. And I think that's because, of the human way of holding on to things, to where that time and that moment has passed.
Mm-hmm.
So now you should too. You can move forward now. You can continue on. And, for a lot of people that might be a struggle, they don't do that enough. But I think that's also something to think about as you're in that moment. Like you said, you sat in that moment. You sat in that situation of like, yeah, this is just not a good weekend. I just am feeling sad. It's like, just accept that and sit in it then.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to have the mindset of this too shall pass. Like,
yeah.
When I think about 5 years ago, it's not the same as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So life is going to move forward. I don't need to fixate and be so upset right now. I can just be in this moment and soak it all up of this emotion and this feeling and do my best to continue to move forward and move beyond that.
Yeah.
And that will come.
Yeah.
It may not come in the time that you want it to because you want it to be right now, but that's just not how it always works.
Yeah.
You have to do what you can do, what you can do, what your best effort can be. And a lot of the times it's just like, you know what? It sucks right now.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all that it is. It sucks right
Yep.
now. And I'm going to try to make it better tomorrow. Or I'm going to try to make it better, even 2 seconds after this, what I'm saying to myself. But
Yep.
it will pass. Everything does. Everything goes on and moves forward. And I think that's, we get stuck in the, nothing. It's not going to change. This is going to be how it is. Tom Brady's always going to be the best quarterback to ever live, and nothing's ever going to be different than that. It's like, well, no. Somebody's going to come along, or your emotion is going to change. It's the Chinese farmer thing. It's the something happens and, oh, okay, cool, maybe, sure. And then something bad happens. Yeah, sure, okay, maybe. You have to find this area of being neutral and being appreciative of what you do have and being grateful for that. And then when bad things come, still doing that. And then when good things come, that's fun, that's cool, but this time's going to pass too. This time of euphoria and nothing can go wrong and everything is amazing, that will pass at some point. So make sure you're being humble and grateful for what you have and what you've achieved and attained. That's, it's important to do that and be that at both times, the lowest of the low and the highest of the high.
That is what's cool with at least living here and living in California, is I feel like they are like timestamps of our lives a little bit, that I don't know, each place I think has affected like what we learn, and different life things and opportunities that have come our way that, just again force us to learn different things about ourselves and how we work together and whatever. That, like, yes, I have not been loving Texas, but I feel like I have gotten a lot of cool opportunities and personal growth living here, and new cool fun things have come my way, even just like starting this. That's like,
Yep.
I don't love the place, but crazy cool things have happened.
Well, and I think that's a great representation of your life is more than just one thing.
Yeah.
Your life is more than just the place that you live. Like you just said, all of these opportunities and all these cool things and different things that have come about from living here. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with living here.
No, right. Yeah.
Like, but it's just that, like, yeah, we haven't really enjoyed it here. It's just not our place. That's it. It's not, no judgment or disrespect to Texas or the,
Texas pride.
whatever, all any of that. It's just that it's not our place. But then you go to, life moves on, life continues, and things have changed for you, and opportunities have come up, and not blessing in disguise, but like cool things have happened.
Yeah.
And it shows you that, oh yeah, life is more than just the place that I live, or life is more than just the job that I have, or life is more than, this maybe dream that I have. There's a lot of other things going on a lot of the time, and it's really difficult to be aware of it all. I think naturally as human, we're always trying to figure out how to fix the thing that's wrong rather than like appreciate the thing that's going well.
Yeah. Well, that's what Texas has really shown me is like what I've said or what we've said with you of like, you can move anywhere, but you're still bringing yourself. You can change your situation as much as you want, but you're still bringing yourself. To where a positive to that I've experienced with me is like, no matter how much, like I could move and I could change jobs and I can do all that, like I'm still there. So I'm going to create success. I'm going to create opportunity because that's what I do as Courtney. But that's where the switch can come in is like, oh, it's not the place that's creating me. So I can just choose somewhere I like. I can choose happiness for once, not I need to choose something for success because that's always what I choose. It's like, no, what do you like? Go there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have any agenda. It doesn't have to be a smart business decision for where you move.
Yeah.
It can just be because you like it.
I think
it's so much less pressure to me. So much less pressure.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I always had to have like the next 20 years of my life figured out before I moved somewhere.
Yeah.
No, I can just move because it sounds fun.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it, that's fine because I'm going to still go there and I'm probably going to get a cool, different job when I'm there. Because that's what always happens to me. And then I'll move somewhere else and it'll happen again. I don't have to like make the right decision every time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I think the best life is a balanced life. And I think that's something that we talk about all the time when it comes to fitness or it comes to diet. We talk about it all the time of balance, balance, balance. That was one of our first podcasts was about balance. But I just feel like that is what the whole experience is about, is finding that balance of, success and happiness and, there's probably a million other things, health, and like people wouldn't create ice cream if it didn't do something good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whiskey or whatever you enjoy. Like there's a reason that you enjoy it. But there's a balance with that. You can't drink too much because then you're an alcoholic. But you don't want to completely restrain yourself because then maybe you have no joy in your life. You have to find the balance of that. And it's just always about finding the balance of every little thing. You find the balance of, okay, I like my job. It's going well, but I feel like I'm not living in a place that is fun or happy. So now I'm going to try to change that and do something different. Or
even something so simple. I made this conscious choice of I work really hard on the weekends. So then when I'm on the airplane, I just listen to music.
Yeah.
Before,
there
old me
go.
would have been like, well, you have 3 hours, you should work too.
Right.
When you're on the plane. It's like, no, I can do this just like I did this, and I feel like I've earned that for myself of I can just listen to music. There's my balance.
Because at that point, what is life even about then? If you're just constantly working, trying to
right
achieve things, that's cool, but are you enjoying anything ever?
Yeah.
That's not cool then. Like, what's the point?
And I think it's learning when to push and when it's okay to just relax and enjoy. Like on those weekends, I am going full blast. Mm-hmm. So then it's okay to do absolutely nothing on the airplane.
Which even that,
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a both.
But it's even perception. You're not doing absolutely nothing. You're making a decision to make yourself happy.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
So that then when you go on the weekend, you can do that and be awesome, and then make yourself happy again.
Yeah.
And it's like it's that finding that balance of, okay, what are the things that I enjoy and make me happy? Oh, I'd like to go golf. Let me go do that then and make sure I fit that in. And that's where it's like burnout happens if you're not doing that.
Yes.
If you're doing too much of like, oh, this is fun for me and I'm going to do this. Now you're not achieving anything and,
yes.
Maybe creating a life that's.
And that is, to me, that is truly, I am seeing that happen in real time. That is the only reason that I'm enjoying these weekends is because I am creating balance and consciously.
Yeah.
Of doing like that, like listening to music on the airplane and not doing my other work. Getting a workout in when I get there on Thursdays. Yeah. Always doing that. Not caring about, oh, well, I want to like eat, but I don't want to like spend a bunch of money. It's like, nope, you're going to eat because it's going to be more stressful for you to go try to find the cheapest thing or the healthiest thing or whatever. Like make the conscious choices that you possibly can, but I'm not going to like overwhelm myself every single day or like every day. Do I get a freaking triple shot over ice? Because that is so exciting to me. Yes. So it's like, if that is the difference between me hating the job and loving the job and doing it year after year, it's like, well, where's the success going to grow? This one. I'm going to make money. I'm going to continue to grow and like evolve within the job. This one is going to burn out and then I end. So it's like, okay, I'm maybe giving up a little bit of more work, a little bit healthier of eating, a little bit more money because I'm spending the money on food. But it's like, this is going to do all of those things plus that when I have the balance.
Yeah, and I think it's the stuff that's maybe difficult or hard becomes more easeful then. Because you know you've put in these stops of, I know that when I finish this or I'm done with this for the weekend, I have something that I can go to that I enjoy and that's just fun and it's carefree and it's whatever. When you don't have those things somewhat balanced or planned out, that's where I think you get into this cycle or this trap of like, what is this even worth? Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, so I'm making money. I'm making more money. Why? I'm working 70 hours a week. Why? Mm-hmm. It's like, well, if you had certain points or these certain times where you could go, oh, this is what I do this so I can enjoy this. I do this so I can go golf on Monday. Mm-hmm. I do this so I can go, do whatever, or I can just enjoy whatever, go to a movie, or, when you put those things in there, schedule those fun things in there, that is creating the balance that makes it worth going and doing the things that you maybe don't like to do and that you have to do.
Well, and those things like are turning into things that don't even feel like I have to. Like Abby, my friend Abby said it perfectly. Like this last weekend felt like the first weekend where it actually felt like work. The other times it feels like fun. And like even like getting my the pre-workout energy drink in the morning and then getting my triple shot. It's like, could I see, hey, that's a lot of caffeine. Hey, you're buying 2 drinks in a day? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're eating pasta for dinner again?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm able to manage 18-hour days and it be fun.
Yeah.
That's a win-win. Like,
there's also a big difference in, I'm getting this because I need it. I need all this caffeine. And I'm getting this because I just like it. I love coffee. I love pre-workout.
Yes.
So I'm doing it all for that.
Yes.
Even if you're a little bit lying to yourself of like, I do kind of need this, it's still changing the attitude about it and making it fun then, rather than this dreadful, I can't consume enough coffee. I'm just so tired. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's your snowball again. You're going in that direction that you don't need to go. You can make the choice of making it fun and light and happy. Yes. And it's like, you know what? I just love these things, so I'm going to have them for that.
Yes. Yes. It is. It's showing me in real time the difference it can be on your life. Like, yeah, it's like, there's no reason I should be managing these hours as well as I am. There's no reason that it should be fun like this. There's no reason. Like, I could see the exact same schedule and what I am doing as like, I'm on a plane.
Yep.
Twice a week, every single week.
Yep.
I am doing the same thing. I'm working 18-hour days. I'm getting up at 5:00. I'm like, and then also trying to like stay in shape and look good and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but all of it is easy breezy as hell. And if my like balance is getting a coffee every day.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm not asking much for myself.
Yeah, and in a weird
not
way,
asking much.
In a weird way, it's like that's all you need.
Exactly.
Is a coffee.
Exactly.
And you're not gonna give yourself that. That's nuts.
Right. And that's where I was for years and years and years. I wouldn't have.
Fucking
I wouldn't have.
Give yourself that. I mean, it's even like this. Like, we're both like, oh, it's late. I don't really want to do the podcast or whatever. Oh, let's have some whiskey. And all of a sudden, boom, it changes.
We're doing 2 podcasts.
Yeah, this is either going to be one long one or this is going to be 2.
I think it should be a part 2.
You think?
I think so.
I think
you know what you should title it? You should title it whatever you're going to what?
I had an idea, but
okay, I'll do mine
first.
Go
first.
Like whatever.
No, me first.
Whatever you're going to title it and then say like
no, you first.
You're going to say like first glass, second glass.
What?
For the whiskey. Do like first glass of whiskey episode, second glass of whiskey episode.
Yeah, but I think that's good. I think that's it for me this time.
Yeah.
It's fun to think different. Talk about different things. I feel like we do this all the time. We want to talk about something fitness and health, and we always end up talking about this.
I know. It's been our I don't know. I feel like it's been more prevalent in our life lately.
Well, I think like what you said,
we're talking about it.
We don't have a lot of time to talk to each other right now because you leave Thursday, come back Sunday, and that's just been like the last 5 weeks basically.
Yeah.
So we just don't have a ton of time, and we've kind of been, I don't know, naturally and also maybe selfishly using this time to do that a little bit.
Yeah. But I also, I mean, not even just like what's going, like, no, we're not just because we're not talking, but like, I feel like these topics have been more apparent between us or our lives more recently too. So it's also just like what our focus has been, where it hasn't been like super fitnessy focused.
Oh, well, maybe.
Like, I feel like we've been focusing more on like how we're feeling and mental health and like.
I feel like this is always the case though. I'm always thinking about this type of stuff.
Maybe
I feel like we're always talking about it.
I feel like it's been more aggressive lately. Compared to like also talking about fitness and workouts, and like I feel like that side of our health has been not as intense.
Which I think maybe that, go with the flow.
Right.
It must be something that we're needing a little bit more than the go crazy on working out or diet or whatever, and that's just something to, go with what you feel like you're needing.
Can I end on this? It's a positive.
Yeah.
I think this is so cool. And again, the studio, I will rave about them forever and ever. But there's this studio in Chicago that comes to our Chicago event. Mm-hmm. And it's like, if I could work for them, it would be a dream. I wouldn't go back to Chicago for it, but it would be like, they're the ones that I told you about how like all of their students were tired and just not feeling it. And they had just got done with like, something happened at their school, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I'm not going to push it. We're just going to reschedule it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he is also paying for all of his teachers to go through this, like how to handle like mental health situations with their students so that they have a better understanding and feel more confident when dealing with their kids.
Wow.
It's like putting the attention towards that. Is that just that goes back to sort of what maybe would have been last episode or at the beginning of this episode of like understanding your power and your value. Yeah. It's like he sees like some of these kids see these dance teachers more than they do their own parents or friends, that like, let's help them, let's assist them, let's guide them in ways that is positive. And I don't know. Just like, I don't know. I think that's so cool. And
above and beyond.
And in that, I think it's a lot of people would see it as like, oh, well, we're just kind of like supporting the weakness, and we're, like we're not focusing on creating good dancers, and like they're not gonna be able to work hard and blah blah blah. And it's like they also have fun. Not like our favorite assistants this year are from that studio. They work so freaking hard. They are so talented. They are so professional. Mm-hmm. And like I hear story after story from one of the people that works for them, is one of our lead assistants, of how like they just had a snow day, and 3 of their classes was like, hey, could we just like do a rehearsal over Zoom? Like, we just want to work on some stuff. Like, I know we can't come into, it's like, you have a chance to have a break and you're choosing to work on something because they've taught you how to care. Yeah. Not because you just have to do it.
Yep.
It's like you've created passion and instilled work ethic that is true to a kid, not just because someone's telling you to work hard.
Yep.
And the love for what you're doing and the care that you're going to produce. I don't know. Just like, again, it's going back to like, you're not just creating good talent, like you're creating good humans. Yeah. It's like they're doing that. And it's kind of like rewarded also because their kids are also phenomenal. But
yeah.
I think I heard that and I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Well, when that's the outcome is the kids are like that, you know, that's,
yeah,
they're definitely doing the right things, you know?
Yeah.
If they were to come to these conventions and they're a bunch of babies, then there'd be a different, like, maybe you should do something else, but that's not the situation. So.
And they're good. And they're so supportive of other studios and they're kind and I don't know.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, there is a different way to do this and it does work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's like the balance.
Yeah.
Create work ethic and create hardworking, dedicated kids that also value themselves and value happiness and feeling good and time for fun.
Yeah. Authenticity.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the times the key.
Yeah. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I don't even want to do like the
nah.
weird promotion stuff at the end because that just seems not authentic.
Right.
It seems weird. So if you've made it this far, I guess, thank you for listening and watching.
Yeah.
It's cool that you stuck with it and hopefully you got something out of it. And I guess we'll see you for the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.